Running is hard, I know, but how does it get easier? More training. I know it sounds simple enough, but in this video I will tell you exactly how I do it and why more training will make it easier. My name is Fars Akfafalian, and in the past 2.5 years I've completed over 20 endurance events. From swimming, running, and biking, I will tell you what I've done to make this easier. Let's get into it. In this specific example, I will be talking about a race I did last year and the exact same race I did this year, the Vancouver Half Marathon in June 2024, and also a few weeks ago. So this is the race in question. It is starting from our university here, University of British Columbia. There's a section that goes 5 kilometers out and then 5 kilometers back in, and then you do the next 11.1 kilometers and you finish in Kitsilano. Now, the special thing about this race is that it is somewhat pretty flat. We have the out and back, which there's a slight elevation change and then a big downhill, and then it's practically flat from there on. Now, let's get into why more training is easier. Here's the watch, the results from the watch I was wearing, and these are my two datas from last year and this year. Last year being on the left and this year being on the right. Now if we compare the distances, both of them are 21 kilometers, and the big difference is the time. Last year I actually went a little bit faster, 1 hour 53. This year I did 1 hour 56. My pace was a little bit slower, my cadence was a little bit slower, but everything else here is the same. Now, in this video I said that more training will make you faster, but what I really should have said is that more training will make it easier. Let's dig a little bit deeper. If we go down, this is the focus of this video. My heart rate zones. So as we can see, last year I was spending 50 minutes in zone 5. I am 24 years old and my maximum heart rate is right around 180 to 190. Anything past that is not good for your cardiovascular system. And here we can see that I was spending 50 minutes, roughly half of the race, at 178 beats per minute or more. However, this year I only spent 12 minutes in my zone 5 heart rate. If we look a little bit more, we can see that my zone 4 heart rate is pretty much the same. Now, it went from 59 minutes to 1 hour and 3 minutes. So an increase of 4 minutes. Now the question is, where did that 40 minutes from zone 5 of last year go? It went all into zone 3. So as we can see, my heart rate zones, all of my zone 5 from last year, it went into zone 3 of this year. This means that my heart is actually becoming more efficient in pumping the blood, and with each pump, it's actually pumping more and it's making it easier. And my heart rate can be at a reduced level. If we keep going down, we can see that my maximum heart rate, it went from 204 down to 187 this year. My minimum went from 147 to 117. So last year, I didn't go lower than 147 beats per minute. But this year, I go down to 117. That's a really big difference. Now, the other key thing is my average, 175 down to 162. Now, having said all this, last year, I had the leg power to go further. However, my heart couldn't take me further. I was just dead tired. I was fully gassed out and I couldn't go more. But this year, it was actually my cardiovascular system was doing just fine. I could have gone more. I had more in me, but my legs couldn't take me further. So this will impact my training schedules and training strategies moving forward. I'll focus more on leg muscles and more about going faster at a higher pace, at a higher cadence. However, now I know that my heart can actually take me and my body is capable of being pushed. Saying a little bit more about how I was gassed out last year, if you go back and look at my map, so the colors on the map are actually corresponding to my heart rate zones. So here we can see that at the beginning, it's all in the orange, which is zone 4. And then we have some dips into the red, which is zone 5, and then orange. And then coincidentally here, and we will get back to why at kilometer 11 is somewhat peculiar, is that kilometer 11, I actually go into zone 3 last year. And then everything from that point forward, I am in zone 5. So here we can actually see that for the entirety of the second half of the race, I was just in zone 5, fully just giving it everything I had. And this is the reason I was gassed out by the time I got to the end, because my heart was at maximum and just going at it. Versus this year. This year we actually see somewhat of a similar trend from the beginning. So we do the start of the race from kilometer 0, go out, it's all in zone 4, a little bit in zone 5, just like last year. And then here we go into zone 3, zone 4, and then kilometer 11. This year I actually push a lot because this is the downhill section. This is the section which we see here on the race map. This is the big downhill section that you see here. And this year I really want to push and make up some time in this section. That's why my heart rate spiked to zone 5. But then everything past that, I was actually in a really calm zone 3. So this is all pretty much exclusively green, which it correlates to what I was feeling. I was feeling just fine, and I could have gone a lot more had I had the leg capacity to go more. Again, last year being on the left, this year being on the right. And let's just look at this top portion of the map. It's mostly red with hints of orange, but this year it's mostly green, again with hints of orange. So yeah, that's a huge difference. So while I was editing the video, I noticed I never mentioned what type of training I did over the past year to get this improvement in my heart rate zone decreases. And I just want to jump in and say, as you can see, here's my fitness tracker on my Apple Watch, and here's all the data from it. This will only show the data for my running, biking, and swimming. If you want to stop by and look over the past year about the kilometers and distances I've done, this is nothing too crazy. It's a few kilometers here and there, and this is a very balanced lifestyle where I would go to the gym, and then at the end of my gym go and do a little bit of cardio and or swimming. So nothing too crazy, something that can definitely be done either if you're a full-time student like I was, or if you have a full-time job like most people. And these kilometers are very manageable and the paces are relatively easy. And this is what I've done over the past year. If we were to go back and look at the previous years, let's say in 2023 or in 2022, last year in 2024 until this year, it's been a significant increase compared to the other years. So yeah, here's my swimming results. I really try to swim as much as I can because I find it's often the best form of training. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you gained something valuable, please like, and if you want to keep seeing more of me talking about my races and following along for the journey, please subscribe. I will be sure to include as many tips and tricks and race day strategies as much as possible I can into these videos for your benefit. Thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next video.